So, good evening. It actually wasn't a good evening. It was a shambles in Spain last night, and Mr. Good Evening had a great evening. And we've got a lovely panel as always. Chig will be joining us, I believe. But Jez, how you feeling, mate? You good?
Yeah, I'm feeling great myself, mate. Yeah, no bother. Pissed off with last night, same old, boring Arsenal. As I said last week, slow, back past slow. It's just boring, bloody boring, and fed up with it, to be fair.
Yeah, it's been a long season, put it that way. How are you, Dan? You good?
I'm all right, thanks, mate. I'm kind of all right with everything because I just accept it now and expect it. So I can't really sit there and say that I'm shocked or anything like that, man, because it's the norm now, isn't it? You know, Fulham, Everton, and Villarreal is just the norm. You know, we are no longer the Arsenal that we wanted to be because our board and owners would like to put a novice in charge and stick by him. So nothing surprises me anymore, Lee. But I'm good in myself, bro. Like Jez.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's been a long season. I just can't wait for it to end. I genuinely can't.
Same, bro. Same.
Euro. Looking forward to that little gap of about 2 weeks when there's no football at all, from when the season ends to when the Euro starts. The Euros always starts just around my birthday, early part of June. So it's always nice. The pubs are open, the sun's shining, and we get some proper players on display rather than these clowns that we have. But there we go. How are you, Kenny? You good?
The thing about it is, I'm just so shocked that everywhere you go on social media, like YouTube, you've got WhatsApp, you've got Instagram, you've got Twitter as well. Why are people so shocked? People we're in shocked. They pick the wrong team, you play teams out of position, play players out of position, and most importantly, he experimented. Well, he's been doing that from day one. Yet people only just noticed in our biggest game of the season that this coach was going to play Russian roulette of their chances. I mean, it was like, please sack me. Or much worse, it was like a scene out of a Howard Hughes film. Catch me if you can, sack me if you can. I dare you to sack me. I'm unsackable. That was his team selection. You know what I mean? That was his team selection. It was like basically inept, not thought out, and it was just basically sending the players out there and said, "Look, just try this out, and hopefully it'll work." And this guy's meant to be an innovative coach. Yeah, my ass.
Yeah, mate, I can't disagree with anything you've said. We're going to come to the starting 11 and the tinkering in a minute. Evening, Chig, you good, mate?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, man. I'm fine. It's Friday. It's bank holiday weekend. Not that I knew it until about 2 hours ago. Every day feels like a weekend at the moment, doesn't it? It's just like it's just long.
Me and you both at the moment. Yeah.
But you good though, yeah?
Yeah, I'm good.
Big up to everybody watching live. There's nearly 350 people watching real quick as well. So smash the likes up. We're going to go through the game. We're going to see if we can find some sort of positivity out of a loss, and see if we can end it on a high and see if we can go through next week. But let me come back to you, Jez. When we see the starting 11, no fullback on the pitch, but there was 2 on the bench. No striker on the pitch, but there was 3 on the bench. It's like Kenny just said, it was like, oh, hello, I want to be sacked. Is that what you thought? Or do you just think he's just clueless and like he thought he was being smart? Because we see a couple of days earlier, Pep Guardiola went with no striker. Yeah, and all of a sudden he's gone with no striker. Like maybe he phoned Pep and said, well, give me some tips. What did you make of the starting 11?
What do I make of it? Shocking. Just no direction. He's totally lost the plot. But he never had the plot, did he? Let's be fair. From the day he joined us, he's just been a complete mind-blowing bloody idiot. Why would you, when you got a young lad, Martinelli, who shows passion, fight, he works hard, why would you not start him in a semi-final of a cup? Why would you do that? Again, we had Xhaka at left back, and fair enough. I wouldn't slate him. He wasn't brilliant, but he didn't do too bad. But it's just bloody frustrating. Every week it's frustration. And, you know, all of us here can see it. There's tens of thousands of fans out there can see it. Why can he not see it? And I'll tell you my opinion, mate. He's just bloody arrogant. It's what he sees, what he says, and that's what I'm going to do, and I don't care what anybody else says. And I agree with your comment there, Lee. It was almost like he was just saying, right, okay, well, out you go, boys, and do your best, and, you know, play for the badge if you want to today, but, you know, if you don't, you don't. But it's just... I'm just fed up of talking about it. I want to see some positive. I actually want to come on here or on a fan cam and actually be positive for once, because I'm not seeing any positivity coming back at all. And I honestly say, I've got to the fact here, and it's just my personal opinion. The players are pissed off with this bloke.
You think a lot of them are down tools then?
I do. Yeah, I do. I think some of these players have just thought, we had enough of this. I think, you know, I mean, I could be talking complete crap, but I'm thinking some of these players are thinking, this guy don't know what he's doing. He's confusing. He can't get a good team selection. And we just fell up with the way he's running the club and his tactics. I mean, you tell me what his tactics were last night.
I don't know what his tactics are every week, mate. Like, he literally changes personnel from one game to the next.
You know, it is just the same old. Let's roll out the same dross every week. And it's just depressing, to be honest.
Can you take any positive out of last night? I mean, the only one I think I could probably take out is the fact that we're still in the tie.
The only thing that I can take out, mate, is Leno made 2 great, fantastic saves to keep from going down 4-1. If we'd gone down 4-1, mate, it's good night, Vienna. Don't bother to turn up at the Emirates next week. You know, forget it. You know, forget it. Put it on BT, because we ain't going to get through that. And I'll tell you now, I'm not that positive we're going to get through now anyway. But as you quite rightly said, he's a fluky bastard in the cup, and he probably will fluke it. And he'll get to the final. We'll play Man United, beat Man United 1-0, and then where are we? Stuck with this prick again. But
I can sense the anger, mate, because I feel it as well. It is just a vicious cycle of crap. But
I am angry, Lee. You know, I find it. I'm really, really having to keep it down, because I could go into one, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to swear. But we all of us have seen some great Arsenal teams, and what I'm seeing here is just absolute bollocks.
There you go. From the horse's mouth himself, it's absolute bollocks. I agree, Jez. Listen, like these podcasts are a little bit of therapy, really. It's just like you can get it off your chest. You know what I'm saying? Because you sit there and you wind yourself up. Like, my day was going great until Arsenal played yesterday. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like this goes on. Somebody put a great comment in a minute ago. Big up to everyone watching. Smash the likes up, people. Everyone's links for their socials is in the description as well. So go and follow all the guys as well. But it's every week. Somebody put a comment in saying that he should have been sacked after 3-0 at Aston Villa. 100 at home to Aston Villa. 100%. And if that was a different manager, he probably would have. But when we come to you, Dan, what did you think when you see that starting 11 drop last night?
It doesn't surprise me, mate, because this dude is not good enough and hasn't been. I've been calling for this manager's head since November. We're now in fucking nearly May, aren't we? Jesus Christ, he's still here. Nothing's changed. And now people are starting to come around. Do you know what? I had a load of DMs actually after last night of people saying to me, apologies for giving you abuse. I think you might be right now. I don't want apologies. I don't want apologies. Yeah, I've taken enough abuse for it over the last 6 months from people on Twitter and social media about how harsh I've been about this manager that he's sucked since November. And that's damn right. After the Aston Villa game, I was thinking, why is he still here? And then what got worse with Leicester, with Burnley, with Wolves, with Everton, with Fulham. When was the last time we won at the Emirates? I can't even remember. And now we've got to go there and try and win against Villarreal. The only positive from last night is we're still in the time we got an away goal. I do not understand what the team lineup was about. I don't understand what the tactics were. I don't understand what the message was, and nobody can understand the plan. And when you ask those questions to people that love this manager, they can't tell you what it is. And they say it's the players. It's the players. All of those players out there last night were pretty much either his signings or players that he's given contract extensions to. So don't sit there and tell me that it's the players and you love the manager, because you must hate this manager if you think it's the players, because he's bloody picking them every single week and he signed half of them. So it's got to work both ways, Lee, and I can't understand that. The biggest thing for me last night, and I said it on the fan cam with you, Danny Ceballos got sent off and he sat there scratching his head for 10 minutes thinking, should I make a sub? Should I make a sub?
And did you notice, as soon as there was a red card, Unai Emery made double sub.
Yeah, bro,
Literally,
but this is
straight
the
away,
problem.
double sub.
We've just come up against a manager who managed Arsenal Football Club and conceded 30 to 35 shots every game that everyone was having wet dreams about. How many shots did we have against fucking Unai Emery last night? 3. One was a penalty and the other 2 went fucking miles wide. So what the fuck is this all about? And apparently we are a club that is progressing under a manager that is sitting currently going to be in 11th place when Villa win their game in hand. And we could potentially be out of this competition now. And everybody wants to give him more time. He's had 18 months. He doesn't know his best 11. He doesn't know what formation he's playing. Last night, do you know what he did? He looked at Pep Guardiola and he thought, I'll have some of that. Man City versus PSG, Arsenal, Villarreal, pretty much the same level. Let's see it. Let's see if we can put a false 9 in place. Let's see if we can play a Swiss statue at left back and see what happens against a real quick right winger. This guy is absolute clown, mate. He is so bad, it is unbelievable. It's embarrassing with some of the players that we've got on show. He's turned Thomas Partey. I sit there and I think, is that Thomas Partey out there or is it Emmanuel Frimpong? Because this guy under Arteta is, honestly, he is dreadful under this manager. Absolutely awful. He's got Danny Ceballos, who's let us down, 3 times in Europe? And he's still playing him and still keeping him on there when he's kicking people's legs on a yellow card. Take the dude off at half-time. No, I'll leave him on and he'll get sent off. And
the club have decided to send him back. We ain't keeping him. That was announced today, but apparently that's been there for weeks. So why do we keep playing the geezer?
It's a shambolic decision, bruv. It's a shambolic decision to pay no fullbacks in the team, no strikers in the team. When you need an away goal, by the way, right? You need an away goal. And if I'm Eddie Nketiah, I'm thinking, well, I'm finished because I played last game and albeit awful, and I do not want Eddie in the team. Don't get me wrong. He needs to go. But he'd be sitting there thinking, I'm finished at this club because he'd rather play a false 9 than me. Martinelli sat on the bench thinking, when am I going to get game time? I mean, I sit there now and I just think to myself, if we get through into this Europa League, I would love to have owners with a set of nuts that say, thank you, your job here is done. You have secured us Champions League football. Goodbye. Take care. Go to Wigan and learn your job because you ain't learning it here anymore. I'm done with this experimenting in semi-finals of the Europa Leagues. I'm done with it, Lee. I can't understand what that was last night. The team and the players need to look at themselves, of course, but they are so confused out there, as would I be, because they don't know what they're supposed to be doing. The formation, what we're supposed to be playing 4 at the back? Did he go out there and say, do you know what, play 4. If you fancy dropping into a 5, do it throughout the game if you want. It's up to you. I can't understand what the fuck this guy said to these players out there. I honestly, we can't beat Fulham and Everton, Burnley, Wolves and Villa at home. How the fuck are we going to beat Villarreal?
It's so Ray, I can't disagree with anything you've said, and I love listening to you speak about it as well because you always hit the nail on the head. Yeah, literally every time we speak, you literally nail it. And the thing is, you made a massively good point a minute ago, about Eddie Nketiah and Martinelli. Eddie scored against Fulham the other week, and then I think he was benched the next game. I think he might have been benched the next game. Then Martinelli scored the week before, he was benched. And now everyone's benched, and we're going to put Smith Rowe up front, who's a number 10, who's been playing left wing most of the season. It just makes no sense. And then you've got Martin Odegaard, who I was getting abused for telling people ain't that good, who was just running around like a headless chicken last night, doing nothing. That guy, I see a stat today, that in his last 35 games or something, I think he's only had 1 assist. And people are telling me this is the Ozil replacement. Flipping hell. We're in big trouble, mate. I don't know whether that stat's true. That might be a made-up stat. I don't know. I see it on Twitter, so it's probably likely. But what does that guy bring to us? Like, what does Smith Rowe bring to us as a striker? What does Xhaka bring to us at all? Yeah, like, you know, Callum Chambers, he tries, but he ain't good enough. But I'd rather him in there than Bellerin. But why can't Cedric go in the starting 11? You know, Thomas Partey, mate, I don't know what we've done to that guy. Like, is he that good, or did we just all overhype him? Because when he played with Saul Niguez and Koke at Atletico, they're levels above the two he's playing with here. So is it that he's looking poor because he's got poor players next to him, or is it just he ain't that fucking good? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of questions to be answered. And what do you reckon, Kenny? Go on, mate.
Sorry,
go on,
just
go on.
if people think that Arteta is a better manager than Steve Bruce and Sam Allardyce, I would suggest that they're not. And the reason I speak those two is because those two have managed to get more out of Joe Willock and Ainsley Maitland-Niles than Arteta has all season. So if you sit there and say that Arteta's a great manager, I'd probably say he was probably the worst manager in the Premier League. And I would probably back that up with saying that I had a Fulham guy on with me last week. Kenny would know. I had a Fulham guy on with me the other week, and I said to him, who would you rather have as Fulham manager, Mikel Arteta or Scott Parker? He went, Scott Parker, straight away. Didn't even consider it. You know? Didn't even consider it. Just said, Scott Parker. I know what I'm getting. I'm getting consistency and fight. I don't know what your style of play is. I don't know what Arteta's doing. This is a Fulham fan. And all the Arsenal lads in the chat were laughing. Oh, what a joker. What a joker. Why is it funny? He's being serious. He's being serious. Sam Allardyce brings a style. Listen, I don't want him, don't get me wrong, but it's unattractive. But you know what you're getting at least. You know what you're getting with Steve Bruce. Yeah? I don't know what I'm getting with Mikel Arteta. Any day. Mate, honestly, bro.
Let's be real here. I know they're right down the bottom of the table, and it's not necessarily all of Big Sam's doing. Yeah, and he's won a few games recently in that. When was the last time we slapped 5 past Chelsea at the Bridge? Yeah?
10 years ago.
Like, come on. Yeah? Van Persie days when he scored that trick, didn't he? That was when Walcott fell over and got back up and jinked through everyone. Like, that was what, 2011. 2011. Yeah. That's 10 years ago. Big Sam's done it inside 10 games. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's perfect. What did you make of the starting 11 when you see it, Kenny? Because we were talking a little bit in the first half. Yeah, and like talking about Xhaka and stuff like that. And just like, I don't know, man. Like, I think Xhaka actually was one of our better players. But having said that, that bar was low. Like, real low. But what did you make of it, man?
Look, as soon as I saw the start 11, my heart sank. I thought myself, since hang on here, does he actually want to win this game? Surely he must notice that if we try to play through the middle, that falls mind, that they're going to pack the midfield, which they did, and that they're going to have a spare man when they attacked. What's that with Foyth? Basically said, "Oh yeah, I don't want to be in the front three because I've got Danny Ceballos as the main man trying to mark me. I'm going to run past him every game and try and create overloads in the middle so I can start attacking my team." Guess what? It fucking happens. It happens. Everyone knows that when you play a left back, especially modern left backs, right? We know they can defend because that's what they train for. But what we want to do is because in modern football, everyone plays through the middle. Let's try and stretch them. What we do, what did Arteta do? Oh yeah, play Xhaka, no stretching, and then said to Pepe and Saka, "Oh, you basically go on the wings and then put crosses in, but to nobody, nobody." Yeah. So they're basically crossing to themselves, and then you got this poor old Thomas Partey. He's actually thinking, "Hang on here, you basically spent all that money to get me from Atletico Madrid, and you're basically put me in a situation where I'm going to fail every time because I've got to do two people's jobs because you've got a pork chop like Danny Ceballos playing alongside me. Then you've got someone like Grant Xhaka who's doing his best, but hang on here. When I was at Atletico Madrid, I have an athlete next to me. So it's like, as Dan says, he has not improved the players. Everyone talks about Unai Emery and then about how, we could see why Unai Emery got sacked because he didn't take advantage. Well, hang on here. He wasn't able to take advantage because at 2-1, a game that he was winning, he went at 10 men. So and then also Alastair got injured, so he had to make the substitutes. So these pork chops in the fan base are going, "Oh, that's why he got sacked." And
sorry to cut in, Kenny. The one thing I'll say is I get why they're saying that. Yeah, because I wouldn't have brought Coquelin on for Paco Alcacer. I would have brought Carlos Bacca on, even though he's a pensioner. The guy knows where the goal is. Yeah, and he will run the channels. But he changed formation, and that's why he done it.
Yeah, but anyway, one of the things we discussed as well is a 180-minute game. It's not so basically you still got the second off at the Emirates. So I was going to say hybrid, but the Emirates, and that's one of the things that I'm coming to as well. If you're a forward playing under this manager, it must be so heartbreaking out of play, where basically under other managers and your senior rivals actually get service. How is someone like a bad man? Well, they've been appalling. How's he actually going to be able to produce the performances he produced under Emery and probably in last season with these tactics? How is Eddie Nketiah going to get a game? How is Lacazette going to produce the goods? The way Arteta plays is basically, and I say this with the greatest respect, you're basically killing your strikers. You're really killing your strikers because not only are you playing a compact game where you basically make yourself difficult to beat, you're also cutting the creativity for our strikers. And so playing Jack at left back is another creative aspect which you cut out. Another thing as well is it's just the way he played the false number 9. Why did he play the false? Who plays the false number 9? We don't have the players. You know what? The last thing I'm going to say, right, is that I've got 2 words for certain people who say I can listen to Arteta all day, and my Man City mate said he's great, and that he coached this coach of the field. Well, I'm sorry, mate. You're watching a different game than me, and you're basically cheating the fan base. If you know anything about football, and I know a lot of you say you know something about football, and you're still backing this guy, and you're actually trying to give me basically information on how this guy's improved us, I'm sorry, you're lying to yourself. You're deluded. You're really deluded.
No, I can't disagree, mate. Like playing a false 9 when you need to score goals, and Smith Rowe barely scores anyway. Literally, I don't know how many goals he scored. He barely scores any goals for Arsenal, and you're playing him as a false 9. Makes no sense to me. I actually thought when I see the starting 11, I thought it was going to be Pepe up front because Pepe's played that position for Lille. Yeah. So I thought, okay, fair enough, Pepe. Then when I see the game, I was like, Smith Rowe? Like, since when? Like, since when has this guy turned into
it gets better. It gets better, though. Smith Rowe started the false number 9, and then when it weren't working, then Pepe tried that for a minute, and then when that weren't working, he went back to Smith Rowe. And then basically, he thought, all right, whatever plan we had, he said, let's just go back to our trusted option. Just give the ball to Saka and let him go and create something for us. Because that's our tactics, the attacking way. Give the ball to Saka and let him try and win the game for us. Yeah. That's all he's got in terms of attack. He's got nothing else, this coach. That's why Saka plays every game. That's why he plays every game.
No, 100%. Listen, there's 700 people watching. Smash the likes up. Make sure you follow the guys. All their links are in the description of the video. Chig, what did you make of it all, mate?
For me, I kind of echo what everyone said. It's kind of ridiculous to experiment at the semi-final of a European Cup. It's unbelievable. But actually, for me, what is more disappointing, and actually where I could have respected this move a little bit more, is if this was all his idea. Like, if this was genuinely what he thought after analysing a Villarreal game and thought, you know what would actually work? I want to do something that no one expects. I want to do something they don't expect, no one expects. I'm going to do a false 9. But do you know what it looks like? It looks like he asked Uncle Pep, do you know what? I need some advice, man. I've run out of ideas and I don't know how to break this team down. And, what would you expect? We could try what we're trying. We're trying a false number 9 thing. The problem is where he perhaps hasn't taken into account that Man City are an infinitely better team than us. And like you just said, which is the thing I was going to lead with, was that when they play a false 9, they actually play someone that can score. They usually play people at the top of that pyramid or around that pyramid.
De Bruyne and Mahrez, they normally stick in there.
They don't play people like, listen, bless Smith Rowe. The guy is at the very early stages of his game. I think he's definitely got something. Like I said, I like his off-the-ball movement. I think it's very, very good. And in some ways, I can even see why he'd be considered to be the guy to be at the top of that pyramid because of his off-the-ball movement. But it was all wrong. I would have rather just gone with the Martinelli experiment. Let's see, because I know there are some people in our fan base that even doubt if Martinelli actually has it. And I would have liked to have just started him and see what happens. I mean, the two strikers that we actually know are still going to be with us next season is Balogun, who wasn't even in the squad, and then Martinelli, who for some reason Arteta just says, you know what, nah, I just don't fancy her. I just don't fancy her. And it was like your pop said during the game yesterday. It just felt like at 2-0 down, it was then that Arteta said, all right, then, let's see how special you really are. And it stuck him on. So what do you want the kid to do now? We're 2-0 down. So
just hanging him out to dry.
I don't know. I just think, for me, I've always said the same thing about Mikel Arteta. The man was never qualified, should never have been considered for the role. The idea that people think that experience doesn't matter is hilarious to me. And yes, maybe I say that as a HR professional, but this is why it matters. You can't just bring in anybody to manage a top side in the top competitions. Because when it comes down to the brass tacks and you need someone to be able to manage you through these stages, that you have to have that experience to rely on. This is where it matters. And for me, it's a miracle. It is God's grace that we still have anything to aim for next week. Never mind an actual chance. And I was sat there, my mum asked me today, she goes, real talk, honestly, real talk. What happens if he gets through and wins that cup? What actually happens? Because there's going to be no one that wants it. Not really. I certainly don't. I still sack him. So I'm at the point now where I'm just like, I will never not want Arsenal to win, but I'm actually now more intrigued what happens if Arsenal actually win the trophy. Because I still fancy us to beat United. I don't give a damn. I know that United played well against Roma. This is United. For some reason, they just falter when it comes to Ollie's United. They just falter. I still fancy us to beat United. So what happens if we win that game? That's where I get intrigued. Because I can't see any of us being amazingly happy for Arteta to stay on. And that unfortunately is the conundrum we'll be left with.
And that's the problem as well. Like, because I put a tweet out earlier saying, let's be make this abundantly clear. If he wins it, he's not a hero or a club legend. Yeah, he's still got to be sacked. He's just a lucky bastard who's won a cup. And then somebody put, but he would have won 3 trophies in 2 years. I was like, these people are still to this day using a community shield as a trophy. Like, come on, get over yourselves, man. Like, you're really reaching, and you're putting, you're putting the career of a man in front of the good and great of this football club. Yeah, if he's that great, go and manage somewhere else, mate. Yeah, give us Ancelotti in a heartbeat. Yeah, I'll take Conte in a heartbeat. There's loads of managers. We could literally go and get any manager within reason. Yeah, if we paid the money. We've just seen that with Nagelsmann going to Bayern Munich. They paid 20 million quid to get him. Like, managers are available if you pay the money. It's the same as the players. So I just find it laughable, man. There was a good comment I see in there a minute ago where somebody said about our left-hand side from under Emery, where, here we go, there it is. Smash the likes up as well. There's 750 people watching this. Make sure you smack the likes up. When we went from a feared left side with combination of Tierney, Saka and Gabby, no left side in a year. Like, and that in itself, like, people would say Saka's balling. Yeah, Saka is still balling. He's been crap for about 5 weeks. Like, let's be real here. Yeah, he has been shit for 5 weeks. And I know what you're gonna say, Chig. Yeah, you're on that Saka agenda again. I ain't got no agenda.
But you say that, Lee. I hear what you're saying. Like, I don't think we've been as
He's still been
Oldham.
one of our best players,
But
but he's
all
been
of
shit for 5
the
weeks.
little work that we do, the little good work that we do, still comes through him. Look at yesterday; it's still coming through him. So if that is Saka playing shit, give me a shit Saka.
No, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like under Emery and even under this manager at times, that guy has just been unplayable in certain games. And I just look at it and I think like, you can't do it all on your own. He's 19 years old. Like, come on, give him some help, mate. Like, you know, you can't pin your whole season on a 19-year-old and hope it works. And that's what he's done. He's killed Aubameyang. I know Aubameyang's had malaria, but he's still killed him off this season. And Martin Keown said it after the game, and it was nice to see Freddie in the studio with him as well. Yeah, and it was like he said Martinelli, the manager, don't rate him. Yeah, 100% he don't rate him. We were being told by all of these Twitter accounts and all of these PR journalists that sit in Zoom calls with Arteta that they were making him into a striker. So why is it every time the geezer fucking plays, he plays left wing? Like, if you're making him into a striker, why'd you keep playing him left wing? Like, I know we put him up front yesterday, yeah, but that's the first time I think he's played him up front in months. So I don't really get it. Like, it's not difficult, man. We've got a squad of players there that should be battering this lot. Yeah, and even with a depleted squad, with players out injured like Tierney and Louise, I know he was on the bench, Aubameyang, we should be battering this lot. Let's have it right here. Jez, let me come back to you. We've got a game at the weekend, not that it's really relevant anymore. Nobody really gives a shit about the league. No doubt Newcastle will have our pants down. And what would you do in that game? Would you... Obviously, we know that he changes the team every flipping game, which is why we've got no consistency. Would you rest Saka in that game, or would you play him?
No, rest him. It's an irrelevant game, mate. It's not. What's it going to do for us? Nothing really. We've got one game to play for. One game, and that is next Thursday. If we don't get through that, that's it. We're done. You know, and. I would like on Sunday at Newcastle. Let's just throw all the toys out the pram and give Martinelli a run. Yeah, for a half. Yeah, let's get him out there. And I would like to see a bit of fight. You know, we actually have got a good record away at Newcastle, but it's an irrelevant game. You know, it's almost like, well, should we really bother even going up there, to be fair? But we've got the biggest game on Thursday, and that is where this team has got to turn up, show some passion, and fluke it for Arteta. And as we said before the show, mate, you know, as Chiggy said as well, if he gets through the final, I think we'd beat Man United, and got it up us after that. Because I think we'll be stuck with this prick. I know I've said it before, but I honestly, Lee, I fear for this bloody club at the moment. It's
in a bit of a mess, isn't it? Like, we've got the whole takeover thing that might happen or might not happen. He still ain't put a bid in yet. It's all well and good talking about it. Show the colour of your money, mate. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And I am excited to see if he does do it, but at the same time, I got excited over the. That's the thing; they're not going to sell it unless they come in with stupid money. But we'll have to move it on, mate, because we're limited on time today. But let me go to Dan. Obviously, Saka, Martinelli. We've got other players. David Luiz is back in the squad, albeit he didn't play. Kieran Tierney, I believe he travelled, but he never made the squad. Yeah, the same with Balogun. I think he travelled. They stayed in Spain and they trained at Valencia today. Like, what would you do going into that game? Because listen, like Jez says, Thursday is the biggest game of our season now, and we don't trust this manager to pick the right 11 regardless. But do you think that he's going to go again with Saka and some of these, or do you think he's going to put the Luizes in? Because listen, Luiz, as much as we take the piss out of him, he is our best centre back. Yeah, and Kieran Tierney is comfortably our best left back. He's the only left back, which is a bit of a shambles as well. But what would you do in that game?
Play the kids, man. Just play the kids. Let's just see them. Let's see, you know, I don't care who they are. Play Reece Nelson, play Aziz, play Balogun, play Eddie. If you want to play Willian, who's not a kid, but he's obviously not about for Thursday, play him. Give what's his name a run out at the back. Give Holden and Chambers a pair at the back, and put Lopez at left back, Matt Ryan in goal. Just go with it. If you want to play El Neni in the middle, whatever. Just whoever is not going to be a starter on Thursday, please just play, because Thursday's huge. And if it gets to a stage where we have our best side out on Sunday because this deluded clown thinks we can still get top 4 or top 6, then I am going to be upset, because we are going to see some people get knocks. David Luiz needs to come back on Thursday, I believe. I still think Tierney's our best player, let alone best left back, so he has to come in. And I think as well, I look at Lacazette, and as much as I don't really like what I'm seeing up top, I think he's probably been the best this season, which says how bad it is. I think, when David Luiz, Granit Xhaka and Lacazette have been 3 of your better players this season, you're in trouble. And with Saka, just quickly, I had a really good chat with Lee Judges a couple of nights ago, right? And both sat there and we said, how many good games has Smith Rowe had this season? And most fans would go, loads, absolutely brilliant he's been.
West Brom, and that's about it.
Has he been that great? And I see him have a really good game against Chelsea, a really good North London derby, and a really good game against West Brom, and that's about where it stops, Lee. And everyone says he's been one of our best players. I would disagree with that, and I'm just nothing against Smith Rowe, because I actually really like the kid, and I really like Saka, like their work rate, but I don't see that they are these outstanding talents. What they are good players. And it just proves that we have not got any players performing. And the big reason for me is because there's no telepathy between the manager and these players. These players are not playing for this manager. Get that in your head. They are not playing for him. They have down tools. There are certain individuals that will go out there and they will give some fight. Kieran Tierney's one of them. We've seen it with Saka. Let's be honest, he conned the referee and giving him a penalty last night, but I'll take it because it's basically giving us a chance of getting into the second leg. But and you'll take it. They will give fight. There's some players out there that I don't believe are playing for this manager. So I would sit there now and say, play the kids at the weekend. Make sure everybody you want to be fit, Arteta, is fit for Thursday. And just lastly, I need to touch on this Balogun thing, because if you're telling me that we get this dude to sign a new contract and we don't even put him on the bench for the Europa League, what does that say? You would rather play a false 9 than give any of these kids a chance in this game when Lacazette and Aubameyang ain't fully fit. And you'll rather just play a Smith Rowe or Ødegaard up there instead of Eddie Nketiah, Balogun, or Martinelli. That, to me, is really bad mismanagement of players. And it's no coincidence, Lee, that Maitland-Niles has gone to West Brom and is bossing it in the midfield for West Brom. That Joe Willock, albeit may have found his level at Newcastle, but he's playing well, coming on and scoring goals. He scored more goals than the whole of our midfield this season, Joe Willock, for Newcastle. Right? Shocking. Yeah. Then you look at what Matteo Guendouzi's doing at Hertha Berlin. From all accounts, he's playing very well over there. William Saliba's getting man of the match every single game he plays in Nice. So what the hell are we doing with all these players out on loan?
Guendouzi's smashing it in Germany. Yeah, Guendouzi as well.
What is going on with this? Why is it that we are seeing these loan players doing well away from this manager? It can't be coincidental. It must be that this manager has bad man management players. And I take you back to the FA Cup final against Chelsea. And from there, this guy must have looked at this side and thought, what I'm going to do is sell our best goalkeeper, make sure we have no cover for left back by selling both Kolasinac and Maitland-Niles, send Saliba back to Arsenal to play against MK Dons, only to throw him back out to France, but keep him for 6 months for no reason, let him rot and get worse, then send him back out there, get rid of Guendouzi and Torreira because we don't need him in our midfield because it's great with El Neni and Ceballos, bring back Ceballos who's been poor, sign Willian. Where are all this? What's going on with this man? So that's the way I look at it. And that's why I've been wanting this guy out since November. I am done, mate. I'm done.
Mate, when you put it like that.
Says it all.
Shocking.
Says it all.
It's mad.
Shocking.
And you summed it up, mate. And I respect what you just said, because you've just summed up the whole Arsenal philosophy of Arteta. Yeah, the bloke's a prick. And that's it.
That's probably a quicker way of saying it, Jez, to be honest.
That's mad. There's a guy in the chat that says Hertha Berlin are in the relegation zone. That doesn't mean that he hasn't had a good season, mate.
Exactly.
Guendouzi. Ganduzi's
So
actually been one of their best players.
Knowles has been good.
Yeah, Maitland-Niles has smashed. Joe Willock, listen, he's sitting just above relegation zone, and he's had a good little loan spell there. So just because you're in the bottom three, don't mean you've been bad as a whole team. Well, as a whole team you have, but individually as a team, breaking it down one at a time, it don't mean you've had a bad season. But everyone's loving your little rant there, Dan. And facts don't get in the way of feelings, mate. Like, facts don't care about your feelings. I get my words out. I've only had 2 Stellas. Do you know what I mean? What do you think, Kenny? Whilst you're speaking, I'm going to go toilet real quick because I'm literally, the seal's going to break. So bear with me 2 seconds. But go on, you can go, my guy. Go on.
No, all I'm saying is that you're talking about team selections, and that's something I discussed with Diesel and Terry. And one of the things we said, like everyone on the panel, I don't know what Chig's going to say, but everyone was saying, why don't you play the kids? And I was thinking, well, hang on here. You do play the kids. And, on the surface, although I agree with everything Dan says about the kids, they have been the players who have actually shook a leg for this manager. But we all know why kids shake a leg for a manager, because simple reason is if I was a manager, right, and Dan, you were Dan or Chig, any of you guys, right, were 18 and just getting into the team. If I told you guys to go and face the wall and you'll get a game, you'll go and do it, because kids just want to play and they do as they're told. They obey their manager. But players who basically have got experience, I'm not going to play for this guy. And you're right. Another thing I'm saying about team selection as well, no one picks themselves. No one picks themselves in this team. So whoever we select on Sunday, it's got a good chance of playing on Thursday, because I look at Pepe. Has he really been shining this season? Not sure. No. David Luiz, our best centre half, but again, he divides opinion. Our goalkeeper plays by default. Then you've got Tierney. Yeah, he picks himself. Saka plays mainly because the manager's got no basically attacking philosophy. It's just give the ball to him. So really, truly, in terms of team section, I wouldn't lose any sleep if any of these players played, because seriously, if any of them were injured, I wouldn't miss anything, because they're not good enough. They haven't been playing well enough to make me think, oh right, shit, I'm really going to be upset that Aubameyang ain't playing. How many were you gutted when Aubameyang wasn't playing yesterday? Were you seriously missing something? Don't think so, guys. Not one of you were. The same with all the other players. Were you upset that Willian couldn't get a game? Not one. And that's the thing about the whole situation, is that this manager has singly managed to actually digress the talent we have. Normally, when a manager comes in, he improves players or he gets players paid for them. But this guy is we got a forward line that's worth about nearly £200 million, and yet they play like they're worth only £20 million between them. How the fuck does that happen? How does this happen? How has this manager managed to cock this up so badly and still, in the eyes of many of the fan base, still be a progressive coach, and the coach that is starting this great process that we're going to see fruit from? Where is the bloody evidence? Please tell me, because I'm going mad, because I've been watching football for nearly over 40 years, watching us for over 40 years. I've been watching football since I was born. So I've been watching football in the 70s, the great Liverpool sides of the 70s and the 80s. I've seen Man United teams, I've seen Real Madrid, all these great sides. And I think I know a bit about football. So either everything I was told was a lie for the last 40 years plus, or there is some process that I've missed over 40 years. Because someone please, who's Arteta in, please explain to me where there's been progress, and please explain to me what have I missed? What have I missed? Please tell me that we're 11th because of some accident of fate. Please tell me 11th because of VAR. Please explain to me what he's done right.
No one can,
Because
Kenny. That's the
I'm
thing.
confused
None of
now.
them can, mate.
I'm confused. I'm really confused, because I think we're going mad. When I hear people who I respect in terms of their footballing opinion, and ex-players who I respect, and they're still trying to tell me that he's the right man for the job.
But Kenny, again, you forget the way the season has unfolded. Yeah. This is a man who, up until October, didn't even consider the youngsters. People seem to have this romantic idea that all of a sudden he's a team of youngsters. No, motherfucker. Because he was forced to play Emil Smith-Rowe. He was forced to consider these players that were now performing for him because people like Willian, his genius buy, didn't work out for him. He was forced.
Yeah,
he was forced into his position.
Chelsea, COVID. We had a COVID outbreak, and all of a sudden, Smith-Rowe came in the team, and Saka managed to, get him more space. And this guy was a genius because he had to kick the kicks. We got lucky
after we hadn't won a game for 8 weeks. By the way, we then put Smith-Rowe in and we slapped Chelsea, and he's a genius for doing it. Like, come on.
And then all the time when we identified the player's not playing for this guy, all of a sudden we're mad, we're out of order, and we're laughed at as like I said, Looney Tunes because we win a few games. He's a genius. What is going on? Tell me what's going on. This is not Arsenal Football Club. Why is a team that is a big club as 11th in the table, well 10th at the moment, has got no prospect of getting European football through the leagues? It's basically scratching for a second leg. Win against Villarreal. How is this acceptable? What has happened to this club? As Jess says, I don't know Arsenal. This is the Arsenal I done 2-0 in 82, 83. That's nearly 40 years ago. I need help. Help me. 38 years ago. Help me.
Oh, Kenny, you're cracking me up, mate. Do you know what, Chig? You made a great point about the youngsters a minute ago, yeah? That this manager, they kind of fell on his lap. Well, Saka was balling anyway under Emery, so I don't know why anyone puts any credit on Arteta for making Saka great. He's played about 8 different positions this season. Emery, he thanked when he signed his new deal, Saka, for giving him his chance, for playing him week in, week out. Yeah, yes, he's had some great performances this season. Don't get it twisted. I enjoy watching him, man. But Arteta ain't taking glory for that. The kid was always going to be good. Let's be real. Right, Smith-Rowe, like you said, he got put in the team. It fell on his lap. We had injuries, we had suspensions, etc., etc. And who else did he put in? He put somebody else in, didn't he? Can't remember who the other one was. There was another
Martinelli,
one.
Wasn't it?
Martinelli. That's it. Martinelli. And he again was balling under Unai Emery. He scored still to this day. 90% of his goals have been under Unai Emery. Yeah, do you know what I mean? I know he's been out injured, but he was out injured for Emery and for Arteta, and he's been fine since January, so why hasn't he played? And Arteta says that he wants to bring the youth through, and that's the philosophy and this and that. Well, tell me one he's brought through then. Because there ain't one, is there, Chig?
No. I mean, the only thing I will give him a slight bit of a credit for, and this is being fair, was he moved Saka from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. And actually, perhaps there's an argument to be made that Saka looks better on the right-hand side now. But other than that, for me, I feel like this idea that he's this, like I was hearing Ian Wright talking the other day. And this is why I love Ian Wright as a hero, but as a commentator, I must admit, I tune out to him a lot of the time. And when he was talking about how, he's become this manager of youngsters all of a sudden. I'm like, hey, he's only become a manager of youngsters. For me, this is his biggest issue. He does not like dealing with conflict. He does not like dealing with management of players. You know, the first opportunity, the first test he had was the Martinez-Leno situation.
Yep.
I don't care how difficult that situation was. And I'm sure it was, right? There is not a doubt in my mind that he could not have retained them both this season. There's not a doubt in my mind. What? So Martinez is saying, well, unless you get rid of him, then I'm off. Bullshit. That was the stories we were hearing. That, oh, well, you know, unless you sell him, then we were off. No chance. Because what you say to Martinez is very simple. You've got the clubs. So unless you fuck up, there's no reason for you to leave. You've got what you want. You've got it. So for me, that moment onwards told me what I needed to know. Because every time there's conflict, he'd rather sell that conflict. He'd rather walk away from that conflict. He'd rather pretend that conflict's not happening than deal with it, than challenge it, than push it.
So same
And
with
for me-
Guendouzi. As soon as Guendouzi starts having a little meltdown
Exactly.
at Brighton, yeah, bang, you ain't apologised, get out of the club. Like, what's that all
The
about?
Guendouzi thing, don't get me wrong. Not that I'm Guendouzi's biggest fan or anything, right? But to this day, I still don't understand what Guendouzi's wrong. I still don't really understand it, right? But yet, for some reason, Guendouzi was pictured the villain in that situation, got rid of him quicker than anything. Meanwhile, you have people like Granit Xhaka still at this club after throwing an armband on the floor, which to me is worse than anything Guendouzi's done. Much worse.
Yeah, facts. And the thing is, I see somebody put a tweet out. It had a bit of traction on it, saying that it was a tweet and it was a quote from Leno. I think it might have been AFTV that put it out. I can't remember, but somebody put it out and it had loads of retweets and all that. And it was Leno saying that we need somebody that's going to snap at the heels and be, that player that's going to get stuck in and be a bit more, be a nastier team. Well, didn't we fucking have that in Torreira? Like, do you know what I mean?
I don't understand.
And all our fans do is come out with, but he played him at number 10. Yeah, he played him at number 10 for 3 games out of about 60. Like, what's the issue? Yeah, Atletico Madrid played him at number 10 twice in the first 2 games, and he scored in one of the games. Like, I don't get it. I genuinely do not get it, bro.
And listen, and many of us are not Mesut Ozil fans in this room. Don't get me wrong. This is another example of something that, to me, I again don't really understand what happened. Because if anything, he left it under a cloud of mystery. And don't get me wrong, right? I'm not Mesut Ozil's biggest fan, right? But if you're someone like Aubameyang, let's face it, these players are probably told fuck all as well. You've probably sat there thinking, hold on, so I'm doing all this bullshit work, and you ain't even told me what the fuck's going on with Mesut Ozil and why he's still not being allowed to be selected. Things like that put a strain on relationships. So is it any wonder why, like you say, many of us speculate that they've down tools for the manager? He being chief among them as to why he's down tools for the manager. Things like that do have a detrimental effect. It's just, for me, the thing has been managed. I've told you this from day one, Lee. The idea that our club has turned our team into this project management exercise for Mikel Arteta from day one for some stupid reason and still refuses to fix it pisses me off every time I think about it. And if they want to get me on side, fuck the money. Fuck spending money in the summer. Get rid of this motherfucker. Get rid of this guy. I don't give a damn. Fuck not spending money in the summer. Get rid of this guy. Because let me tell you something. I don't care what anyone tells me. You get a competent manager, they'll get 15% more performance out of this team.
Easily.
Mark my fucking words.
Easy.
Mark my fucking words.
Easily, bruv. If we had a proper manager this season, we'd be 4th. Yeah? Everyone laughed when I said that at the start of the season. If we have a proper manager, even with that squad, we can finish 4th. Everyone laughed. But how the fuck were Chelsea 1 point ahead of us? Yeah, when they sacked Lampard. Now all of a sudden they're 4th. They're 3 points clear of 5th. They're in a Champions League semi, 1 foot in the final, and they're in a cup final. Yeah, proper managers do proper things. But listen, 1 second, Chig, yeah? Dan, have you got a shoot?
Yeah, I do have to go in a minute, bruv. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But thanks for having me on, man. Much appreciated.
No, listen, you're always welcome. Every Friday, man. If you can do it, I know you're busy some Fridays, so I know you can't make it every week, but no, I always enjoy listening to you, man. Make sure you follow Dan's Twitter account. The link is in the description. Dan Arsenal 87, and big up to you, mate. Have a lovely weekend as well. And that's bank holiday and all that, so go and get a beer inside you, mate.
Yeah, man. Let's hope the sun stays up.
Hey, Dan, who's on the team talk at 6 or 7 o'clock? So I'm going to have a book to that. Who you got on?
So I got.
You doing a show?
Yeah, I got one at 7 o'clock. That's why I need to shoot and just.
Yeah, go on, plug it, man. Plug it.
Sure. Yeah.
Listen,
if anyone wants to come and listen to myself, Kevin Campbell, and Warren Barton at 7 o'clock, then come over to the Same Old Arsenal. It's myself and Lee Judges having a chat with them too about Arsenal, Newcastle, and obviously the game last night. So we'll divulge into that.
I'll have some of that. I like to see the judge. I like to see the judge go. Someone needs to tell me why I
Amazing.
Kenny, do it again. Do it again, Kenny. That was quality.
That was a good impression, Ken. I must admit.
Someone needs to come and tell me why we're still making those elementary mistakes.
You got to clip that, mate. You got to clip that. That's class.
Nah, nice one. What channel's that on?
Same old Arsenal on YouTube, 7 p.m. If anyone fancies it in the chat, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, make sure you go and check that out later on tonight. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks
Have a nice
lot,
weekend,
boys.
man.
Yeah, man.
Take
Enjoy
care,
the bank holiday, boys. I'll see you all later.
Thanks, mate.
Take
See you,
care,
mate.
man.
Yeah, Chig, let me just come back to you before I go to Jez. Saliba's another one as well, because Saliba, like, I still don't know, like, because there's stories that were doing the rounds that he'd lost his mum. Then there was a story that he'd lost both of his parents. Then there was the story that he was homesick and he was going back on loan. Then it was going to Norwich or Brentford. And it was like, really? Like, you're going to Norwich? Like, okay, that don't really make any sense. Yeah. And it was like, he wants to be closer to his family and all that stuff. And I was like, I still don't even know if his parents died. I genuinely don't know. And it's none of my business, really. But that was used as an excuse to cover this manager for probably 6 months.
All of those stories came within a 3-day space that came after it was confirmed that they were having showdown talks. And then all of a sudden you started hearing rumors of all this bullshit. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? We just bought this kid. I still, again, that's another one that just bamboozles me. It's like, when you look at some of our defensive performances, namely Rob Holding, you look at Rob Holding, and you look at Saliba, you think to yourself, really, is this kid that bad? Is this kid that fucking bad? That you thought this guy is the one that deserved a new contract, and this guy is the one that you wanted to ship off. You know, just things like that just made me realize that this is a guy that doesn't like conflict, who doesn't like to manage them type of situations, which for me is more of a concern in a manager. I don't care what type of manager it is. You should be able to deal with conflict like that. You should be able to deal with talented people in your team and manage them all instead of marginalizing one of them and getting rid of another. You know? And I think these are telltale signs of not only inexperience, but someone that's not even willing to get that experience. You know, he strikes me as someone who's a bit arrogant, someone who's a bit of a coward. And I think that ultimately, in the end, whether he succeeds or whether he goes on to be a failure, I would like to see him for himself step out of Pep's shadow and learn ideas of his own. That's why I said, for me, if his false number 9 thing was purely his idea, it still would have been some bullshit, but I would have respected it more. I would have respected it more. But when I saw it, I laughed because I knew what happened. He clearly asked the man for advice, and that was Pep's advice.
100%, mate. Like, people bang on about he's fixed the defence. I've just looked at the Premier League table. We have conceded 2 goals. 2 goals. Yeah, 2 goals. Not 1, 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. We have conceded 2 fucking goals less than Brighton. Yeah, Brighton. We have conceded 2 goals less than the team that are down the bottom that have won 7 games all season, that have Danny Welbeck up front as a striker. They have, like, just an average fucking squad of players, less average and worse than ours by a country mile. And we've conceded 2 goals less than that. Like, that in itself should be a sackable offence. To let Saliba go out after you've done 30 million on him, pathetic, absolutely pathetic. And I said, when I see him against MK Dons, we did the watch along. Yeah, he looked really good in that first half, but I just don't get it. He's killed off every single youngster at this football club, bar Saka. Yeah, Saka was always going to the top anyway, so I ain't even crediting him for that. He can fuck himself. But let me wrap this up. Let me come to Jez. Give me a prediction for Thursday. Don't worry about Newcastle because that's pretty much irrelevant, really. Give me a prediction for next Thursday. Are we going to go through? How do you see it going? Or are we getting knocked out and it's going to be a good evening for Unai Emery?
My prediction is 1-0 to Villarreal.
Oh.
Got it right last night. 2-1.
So did I, funny enough. I said 2-1 as well.
I said before, Lee, this fucking idiot, I swore, this idiot, he's a director at Arsenal, mate. He just sucks the lifeblood out of these players. They are, I think, mentally confused. They're disillusioned. Don't know what's going on. Don't know the tactics. Don't know where they're going to play the day they turn up. And it's just frustration, demoralisation. The guy's a complete prick, and he's ruined this football club. And at the end of the day, season's written off. I'd see nothing coming out of it at all. And I just want him out. He's got to go.
Yeah, I can't disagree, mate. Kenny, what do you think for next week, mate?
Look, if they get the first goal, game over. We get the first goal, it becomes interesting. But if he's playing without striker, if Kieran T is not fit, then all you could do is just book your time off and watch football just as a pleasure. Don't watch football with any emotion. No Kieran Tierney, no final dates. Simple. So if that Kieran Tierney doesn't play, it'll be probably 2-1. It'll be 2-1 then, or even 1-1.
Chig, give me some positivity, Chig. You're on me.
I said it to you in the fan cams. I think Arteta's the luckiest fucker in the world. And one thing I've always said is take every single circumstance that we currently are experiencing out of the window. Just strip it all back. Strip everything back. Just take the problem itself. If you had to give Arsenal a game where they had to beat Villarreal and you had to pick a venue around the world, where would it be that you would pick Arsenal to be able to do it? It's at the Emirates, and to win 2-0, you could definitely back them to do it, or to win 1-0 even. Sorry.
Yeah, we only need a 1-0.
You can definitely back them. Huh?
Yeah, we only need a 1-0. That's all we need. Yeah.
So you can definitely back them to do it. So, but that's obviously not taking into circumstance our poor form, how shit we are, our injuries and all that. This is just taking all circumstances and stripping them back. And I think for that reason, that's the only reason, I think we'll win 1-0.
I'm going to say right now, my early thoughts on it. We're shit at home. We've lost 9 games at home this season in all competitions. I don't know if we've ever lost 10. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. We've definitely not lost 10 in my fucking lifetime, put it that way. We hadn't even lost 9 in my lifetime. They're going to score, so we're going to need a few. They're going to beat us, like over the 2 legs. We're going to see Unai Emery knee sliding into the centre circle and his players throwing him up in the air going, ole, ole, ole. And he's going to give it the biggest virtual fuck you to Arsenal Football Club. And they fully deserve it. Fully deserve it because they've taken the piss out of us. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he's crying and I hope that we do actually make it to the final. But you know what? I think he'll have his pants down again because he's a fucking good manager. And on that bombshell, people, we are going to wrap this up. Hour and 5 minutes strong. Big up to 800 people still watching live. Smash the likes up, man. How many likes we got? Smash them up. We have got 302. There's 780 still watching. Keep hitting the likes, man. Let's get another 100 likes. Let's get 400. Make sure you follow Goon at Eagle Eye. Are you doing any videos today, Chig?
He's on mute.
talking away on mute. Sorry. I'm going to be doing a show at 7:30 just to give my belated thoughts about everything. And then I'm going to be doing the combat show on the combat show. So it'll be double show today where I'll be talking about boxing and MMA as well. All right.
Happy days, man. Yeah, your link is in the description of this video, so make sure you go and check that out. Guna Eagle Eye, Kenny Ken, your Insta, I think it is. I've tagged in the description.
Right.
Go and check. Your Insta's growing very big as well. I've noticed. I looked yesterday. I was like, oh, Kenny's growing on the Insta. Yeah, Kenny's going to be an internet star on Insta.
You know what? My daughter.
I love your videos on there, though, mate. Your commentary on there is quality.
I just get carried away. I really hate bad defending. But later today at 8:00, I'm going on Pro Pep Talk UK, and we're doing like a boxing preview of the
Pep Talk. Make sure you go and check that out. YouTube channel on here.
8:00, we're doing a preview of the Matchroom card pay-per-view. Chris Eubank Jr. is fighting. Craig Richards.
When's that? This weekend?
This weekend. Craig Richards is fighting for the WBA lightweight title. Katie Taylor is putting all her belts on the line against Natasha Jonas, and Zora is calling the British public again. We're on another pay-per-view, and he's going to lose because he always loses when he fights someone who's top class. So watch out for that 8:00.
That's because he's a scrub. I don't like Chisora. Yeah, I don't like him one bit. I don't like him one bit, mate. Jez, I've put your link for Insta. How's Insta going for you? Are you getting used to it yet?
Yeah, I'm getting there, mate. After your show last week, it went up, I think, 20 people or something. I don't know.
Happy days.
But just going to say, Lee, I'm not around on Sunday because it's my mum's 85th.
Happy 85th to your mum. Happy 85th to your mum.
Yeah, bless her. So I won't be seeing the game. I'll record it. And obviously, I don't think I'll be around to do a fan cam, mate. Because
no, mate. Listen, no, you do what you're doing, mate. Like, listen, it's fine. You do what you're doing. It's your mum's birthday. Everything stops for your mum's birthday, mate. Come on.
So, I'll catch up with you probably after the debacle next Thursday.
We'll either be on our way to Gdansk, or we'll be on our way to the fucking boozer.
Hey, one more thing before everyone goes. I've heard a rumour, and my sources are not bad lately. But I'm hearing rumours that the last two games of the season where they're allowing them crowds. Apparently, they're maybe allowing 500 away fans at the last two games to the Premiership.
Oh wow!
So I'm sure. So our last game of the season is
Brighton.
Against Brighton. Our last away game is Chelsea away. Arsenal fans, remember? And they like a little trip down the district line, going through the Sport on the Piccadilly line, then going on the district line all the way to Fulham Broadway.
Yeah, nice little walk down the King's Road, Kenny. Lovely jubbly.
Lovely.
Big up to everybody who has watched live. This is my last show of the day. I'm not doing any more. I worked my nuts off. I didn't get in bed till 5 to 4 last night. And I was on at 2:00 in the afternoon. So I was on a mad one.
Who's H?
H is Hastings. I'm telling you. I'm convinced there's going to be a twist and it's Hastings, bruv. Do you watch Line of Duty, kids?
Too obvious.
No, I've actually been recording it, but I get all the facts from my mum because she's an avid watcher. So
stick it in the chat. Everyone stick it in the chat. Who's H? I reckon, right, there's a mad twist. The thing is, right, I think it is going to be him because it's so obvious that it's not. Yeah, that it's going to be him. That's why I picked him. Now, my missus don't think it's him. She ain't got a clue who it is.
That's why we all watch.
Exactly. It's quality. I can't lie. It's fucking brilliant, isn't it? It's actually brilliant.
Chig, do you watch My Duty, Chig?
I love Line of Duty. Are you kidding me? Love it. Love it. I think it's Kate, personally. There you go.
Kate! Cat's eyes.
Yeah.
I call her cat's eyes.
You watch. I'll be gay.
Jig, let me ask you a question.
I'll be gay.
Jig, let me ask you a question. Would you?
Who?
Hey, let's not go all no cloth in here. Let's not all no cloth. Let's not do no Clark now, mate.
Yeah, we don't want to get cancelled, mate. We know the cancel culture are out. We better wrap the stream up real quick. Thank you, Kenny. You're always looking after me, mate. Always my bodyguard, mate. And big ups to everyone who's been watching live. Thank you very much. Make sure you stick a like on the video. Make sure you follow all of the guys. Their links are in the description. Go and follow Jez's Insta, Kenny's Insta, and Shig's YouTube channel. And I'll be back again tomorrow. We're out of here. Laters.